Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Manosphere. And support for this podcast is brought to you by xbrain.co.uk. Enter promo code fighting words, exactly X to the Z and so forth. Enter promo codes fighting words at checkout to save 30% off any and all Xbrain products. Support for this podcast is also brought to you by Squawk, powered by Market Squawk. Maybe the other way around. Market Squawk, powered by Squawk. For all of your on-demand,
spicing it up,
wherever on-demand data needs. I didn't even know we were doing this tonight, but we are.
Squawk, goodness, yeah.
Livesquawk.co.uk powers Livesquawk, some things, other things, Livesquawk stuff.
Make money, yeah.
Market Squawk. Squawk.
Straits,
you were very angry earlier. Please tell me immediately. Oh, he's vexed. He's vexed. What are you vexed about, bruv?
Listen, right. To be fair, it was cathartic just to see Dana White's like unrelated, because that's exactly how okay, I feel like this needs to put in context. Let's take a little detour, right?
Go.
Because I feel like a few years ago, you couldn't mention the name Anthony Joshua and have a conversation because people's mouths were so full of his nuts that you wouldn't be able to have a decent conversation. Fine, right?
Fine.
Our stance, I believe, was more like he is a specimen of a human. He is a fantastic ambassador for the sport. With regards to skill, not the finished product. If you stand in front of him, you're in fucking trouble. If you've got a bit of mobility and can withstand some, there's going to be problems. Hand on heart, said it time and time again, did not think Ruiz would be the person to expose it to the extent he did. But the way he did it is what I thought would be the undoing. Mm-hmm. Take your head off the line and counter, because most of the time he's on the center line, right? Yep. People... didn't want to hear it. He's going to bang out Wilder. He's going to bang out Fury. He's going to do this and he's going to do that. And now that to me is the start of the problem. Like, objectivity is important, right? Because what it stops you doing is swings and fucking roundabouts. Like, if you're going to go all in for your guy, cool. But ride or die, like we fucking do. Anyone comes on this part where ride or die. And like, we'll discuss it with like what we think, but still our support is unwavering. Because really what set off this venom was Tyler losing. Didn't respond well to that, purely because like as soon as the fight was over, Bare Knuckle put up the picture of his fight and people are like, oh, another loss. It's like, are you fucking kidding? Another loss. He lost to Luis Palomino, who is a fucking animal. Like, no one beats that guy.
Nope.
And James Lilly was like, he's undefeated as well. And
but also, I want to say, I thought Tyler beat him. I thought it was 3-2 or a draw, honestly.
Yeah, agree. And also, too, if you're going to, because, like, I have not a bad word to say about Lilly. Like, he seems like an awesome guy, awesome fighter, came out strong, which was a problem. But the judges' scorecards were insane.
Absurd. They were absurd.
Fucking insane. But anyway, I digress. When we go back to AJ, it's the same old thing. He picks up a loss to Ruiz. Straight away, half the people, I knew he was never shit and blah, 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 blah. He starts getting his winning ways about him. Usyk happens. More people fall off the wagon. We come to this time, the same very fucking people a week before, they're like, no, AJ's going to shock people. You're going to see blah, 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 blah. We were just like, listen, I think it's a very tough fight for him to win, because not saying he can't, with his power, it can always do it, but to outbox Usyk is a fucking challenge.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll happen. After the fight, people, rather than saying, oh my God, that was an incredible performance by AJ, which is possible. It is possible to praise someone in a loss. You know, you can still support someone when they fucking lose. You don't have to turn into a moaning bitch about every fucking thing. So then you've got that. Then you've got his post-fight. People are posting up clips of his post-fight. Like, as I said, we went flex backstage, thanks Tristan, after the bare knuckle to watch the fight, because they finished like simultaneously. Like, we went, it was round 2. It was relatively loud in there. Couldn't really hear the audio on the thing. But so a lot of that post-fight I missed immediately. I only saw the backlash and I was like, I want to see it before I fucking comment on this at all. Now, the videos are coming out because obviously people start the video from him saying, but you're not strong. and all that. They miss the start of the video where Usyk praises him on his strength. He's like, it's not about strength. Like skill is what you need. Like, and he says, you're not sorry, you have skill and everything. Even the thing with Loma, I saw the headline, like he's kicking off at Loma. What he was saying was
he
really
wasn't kicking off at
about
Loma.
himself. Yeah. And when he's kicking off, I think that was like, it's his dad or so, someone like elderly is grabbing his arm and trying to pull him back. It's not like it's, and so many things are taken out. Now, before we get to that, even his fight, he did a fantastic fight. He came up short to
AJ.
Yeah.
Legitimately the best he's looked. I didn't think that he could perform that disciplined, that structured,
and
that
stick to the plan.
And stick to it. And I'm gonna say he didn't seem like he gassed. He didn't seem like, obviously he's a big man, whatever. That was the single best AJ. I messaged you after I watched it in the morning properly. And I said that, you know, he is the number 3. Yeah. And I see you brought up a very valid point about Wilder and the power and et cetera, right? Yep. If Wilder doesn't land, which is easier said than done, AJ pieces him up. Yeah, there is no one below that list that I would say categorically has the beating of him. Absolutely. Other than and as we those said, like, 2 dudes.
It's just which version of Wilder comes back. I still think like if Wilder comes back unfazed mentally, still he can, because that one hitter quitter power you cannot deny. And
but that's because he's a young Edo King. Like
that's right. Brings you need to respect. Just
exactly.
Like mention of his name.
I was watching videos of him today, welling up, and I was just like, that is my Ebony King, literally my Ebony King. And my kids are in France at the minute, so what I did, I grabbed someone else's kid, and I wept whilst holding someone else's child because I was so enamored with my Ebony Edo King. He realised he was Nigerian about half hour ago. Respect, Wilder. Tay-Tay's nuts. What is he going on about insurance and keeping me?
Like when he posted that, I'm like,
cryptic as shit. Yeah. My stories make more sense than that. And after the time, I don't even understand what I'm saying. Like the geezer's fucking off his canister. What is he going on about?
Yeah, that I really didn't get. He posted it. I'm like, it seems like this has a lot of meaning to you as well, but I don't get it.
Well, respect, do you?
Yeah.
Yes, King.
But yeah, so people just like can't give him the praise, and then straight away go on about his he fucking threw it away with that performance, and like saying horrific shit about him. It's like, now this, you go on.
What have you seen? Because I honestly don't really like, unless someone's DM'd or they're getting it a little bit large on one of the posts. I don't even read people's comments, to be honest.
But see, this is the thing. You know, I'm not a comment reader.
Yeah, right? No. But that's why I want to know what the fuck you've seen to jar you.
People that have
name names.
Like,
name names.
Honestly, I want to come back with a fucking list and just be like, all you cunts can get it. Because how many fucking punches have you taken in like, these people are having a say on a sport they don't fucking understand, they've never bled for, and then they take this fucking moral high ground about when have you been in the position. Now, I like to think our listeners like attracts like. It's not our listeners doing that, but if you know someone,
some of them are.
Yeah, wow,
100%. Some of them are.
Statistically speaking, they must be, because there's fucking wildness going on out there. But the level of shit talk is just like, when have you? Now we run a podcast like big in Jamaica. In case you didn't know, big up.
And what
we could fall into the fucking headline category and like making this shit, trying to make shit go viral. We don't do that. We just say our opinion. We try and keep objective, because that's what the fuck it's about. People that don't even do that, they just like to make a conversation a fucking water fountain, or the equivalent online now, are chatting all this shit. You don't, what the fuck are you talking about? That man fought his heart out. And again, coming from the position of like, we not saying that we thought he was going to win. It's not like we're butthurt, as people like to say. It's just like, give the man his credit. He trained hard. He put everything into it. It didn't go his way. It takes a second. He's been punched by a fucking heavyweight for 12 rounds. Give the man a moment. Like throwing the, and like, I'm the first. I hate, like, whatever you do before the fight, you share a piece of yourself with someone in that ring or cage or whatever you're doing. And after the fight, it should be squashed, and like that, you like real recognize.
There was no animosity whatsoever between them. And you can see that from the hug. right?
Yes.
The hug after the fight, that's a proper hug. That is
Yeah.
something they've shared 24 rounds together.
Draping in the flag and everything.
Exactly. Nothing but respect. So we'll get into the fight in a minute, right? So a lot of people are doing their absolute ring piece about AJ spurging out afterwards, right? He threw the Ring magazine and the WBA Super. No idea what that was about, honestly.
Yeah, that's the one thing where I'm like, look, if they're not your belts, so like, don't chuck them.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I don't know what that was in context or whatever. Like you said, the other clips that they cleverly showed, which, right, if I was conspiratorially minded, if you're on Sky, you've just left Sky, they've cut that up double quick to make you look like a cunt,
Yeah.
right? They really have, and they've done a pretty good job at publishing that stuff as well. Anyway, he's saying to Loma and Usyk, it's not about strength, it's about skill. And that was like that tirade, that rant, that tantrum, that whatever. That is a man who has been the number one, who has now been bumped down to number 3, which questions his time at number 1, because this geezer's always been lurking around and the other geezer's there as well. And he knows that he can't beat Usyk 2 times over now. So he's gone from absolute king of the fucking mountain, AJ the lion, AJ the king, to third at best. And that third comes with an asterisk because Wilder can bang anyone out. Right? Who's to say that Dillian won't do it? He won't fancy it that night. There is this absolute disgusting shark tank from number 2 down of anyone. And it's kind of like the 70s and the 80s again for heavyweights. It's wild. It's an amazing time at heavyweight. People need to be a little bit more understanding of that. You literally have just seen a giant Adonis of a man suffer ego death in front of the world. There is no bigger stage for him to have been crushed like that.
100. And also, going back to what we were saying about people building him up, this is what leads to fighting stressful enough. Like having a fight, I've never fought anything remotely on that scale. So that is another level of stress. Add to that, there was a time you couldn't walk down the street with this without seeing AJ's face on some billboard.
You still can't. You go to Wembley, it's a fucking 75-foot poster of him. One thing very quickly to circle back. You know how angry you have to be for Del Boy to be a calming influence. Do you realise how livid you've got to be for Del War Chisora to be like, no, man, calm down, chill. But yeah, it's a shame that it's gone like this. It's a shame that the British public, this is what we do. This is what.
But it's like, it's fucking and it's just like, what the fuck have you done with your life? Really? What justifies you to take shots at a man? He put everything in. Like, people have lost because it's so easy to press some fucking buttons and bleh, it's out there now. Just think those words last forever. His effort took so much more than your shit. And it's just compounded. Like, one person got another. Then people start, oh yeah, fuck that. Because it's easy to hate. Give people fucking credit when they do something worth doing, because more and more people ain't doing shit. More and more people doing fuck all, and people are following them for doing fuck all. Then they become someone, and it just spreads this nonsense. Give people credit when they achieve great things. He did a great performance. Usyk, it doesn't take away from him. It adds to him. That what he did was that much incredible, because all that improvement, like we said, AJ's level of improvement was insane. What does it say about Usyk? That it still was not enough. Usyk has those extra gears. Like when it was the 9th, when AJ just put it on him, and in the 10th, like a fucking boss, just like, okay, we're going to another place now.
You're getting it now. Yeah.
That's
10th,
that's
11th, and 12th, right? Listen, nothing but love for AJ. We're going to sock off the Ukrainian hard right now, right? So look, I had that fight 9-3.
Yep.
Paige had that 10-2. He's a hater, right? That's the way it is. 9-3 is how I had that. I've watched that fight 3 times now. Each time 9-3. If I'm playing the TV pundit card, maybe a very, very, very kind 7-5, maybe. If I'm being super kind.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't very close. It was a masterclass in distance, which, shout out AJ, the first 3-4 rounds, he was bossing it with a half step back.
Yeah.
Like a half step back was rinsing it, right? And it was neutralizing enough of Usyk, but every now and again he would do that like fucking Dragon Ball Z stutter step, and just before you know it, his head snapped back and he was like, what was that?
Yeah.
It was a majestic performance from Usyk. You've seen now with one of, you know, other than AJ, it's AJ and Wilder are the two scariest. Like if you've got them in front of you and they're swinging blows at you, Tyson's a different thing.
Yeah.
Tyson's going to hurt you, but it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Right? Those two are the ones. And Usyk ate some fucking shots. He looked at him clean. And worst of all, he came back immediately.
Yes.
Every single time. Right? Most of the time when he was getting bashed all around the ring, not that many of them landed.
Hey, and for someone who doesn't take it well to the body, he always takes some horrific body shots, and he didn't go nowhere.
Come on now, and he was giving them back.
Yeah.
Right? Fantastic heavyweight fight. Absolutely sensational. AJ looked the best he ever looked before the first Usyk fight was the best he ever looked. This is the new best he's ever looked against the number one. There is no shame in losing to Usyk. There is no damage to him reputationally. And from a fan's perspective, it's all fun time now. Yeah. Because I think he's done with the belts, right? We're getting Dillian in December. Fact. Right? That is immediately billed as both fighters are coming back from the number one and number two. Let's fight for number three. We don't care about belts. Who's to say AJ don't go for the WBC? He's never had that belt.
Yeah.
He could get that belt, right? Then you've got this just list of killers that are fun fights. The trilogy, Ruiz. We're watching fight Ortiz. We're watching fight Wilder all day long. We're watching fight White. If White beats him, then they do a trilogy of that one. Then you got like the Sanchez's, the this and that. If AJ wants to do big fights, he can do what he wants.
Listen, any fight with AJ still becomes a big fight. AJ Joyce, AJ Dubois. It doesn't matter. Like,
I would 100% pay up to 30 quid for AJ Dubois because I'd want to see Dubois get done again by AJ.
Did you see how he'd beat Usyk? Did you see the interview with him? It's like, I trained the game plan and beat him.
I honestly can't watch him.
I feel like AJ probably like tried that.
I can't watch that geezer in interviews. Ramala Ali, shout out. It's a funny story, actually. I've got a fractured wrist. That's not a funny story. That's literally not.
Or a story. That. It's a statement. Like,
all right, you got a fractured wrist. Cool story. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the fight an awful lot, Ian Streets.
Me too.
I enjoyed it an awful lot. I will be watching it again. I am excited to see what comes next. Fury, do you think Fury does it?
It's got to. Like,
you think?
Yeah. It's just the numbers have to make sense. Like, I feel like this is all just posturing. It's just a way to get money. Like,
look, it's not outside the realm of reason, though, that this all just resets again and we go back into the simulation, right? Usyk said it's Fury only. And you cannot tell me for a second that Usyk's going to bother doing mandatories.
No.
Why would you?
No.
He's probably made more money than he ever expected to make. Yeah. He's done things that Loma hasn't done. He's the guy. He's the number one, right?
Yeah.
So say he does do that and retires and Fury says, no, I'm done anyway. All 4 belts are up for grabs. Or all 5, including the IBO, lol. Right? And then we're just back at it again, aren't we? With an infinite fuck you if AJ continues, knowing that even if he becomes undisputed.
Yeah. No one's
gonna, gross. There's 2 others that we know.
Yeah.
That's what that speech was. Like, no matter what you do, there's a point where you just are like, when he's talking about the skills and stuff like that, he's talking about levels. He's talking about someone that's been doing it since he was 5. He's just like, it was like a crushing realization and understanding. It was awful to watch. It was horrific. Yeah. I felt really, really sorry for him.
It's like when people were shitting on DC. Remember when he cried after losing the trilogy to Jones? It's like, have you ever put yourself in the position where you've invested so much of your soul into something, and it visible to everybody to see that it just didn't happen. Like most people like to hide. That's what I love about fighting. It's everything that in a normal life you would steer well the fuck clear of. People don't like embarrassment. People don't even like speaking in front of other fucking people. There is no punishment to that. That's just an awkward moment. You're not going to get separated from your fucking senses. A video of you like fucking still on the floor, that's not going to happen. But people are scared shitless. That's the thing. Like people have lost context. They'll happily chat shit about this magnitude that they could never comprehend when they're getting madly pissed off like I am about a fucking comment. It's like people lose their shit over far less stuff, and it's totally fine because not millions of people see it. Yet the millions of people do, and they all of a sudden get the right. Fuck you. Your ticket doesn't cover that. You didn't even buy a ticket, you know?
Check this. I think that AJ becomes an arsehole. Honestly, I think that the AJ that we've known is no more. I think that what we have is a stoic kind of bad man now, and that's going to be a real problem, which ironically will cost him sponsors but make him way more famous.
Yeah. It's like John Jones. Do you remember when John Jones started out and he had the whole snitch thing and like, oh no,
I'm telling you, he's like him and Dillian will be O2, let's say, proper capacity, O2, December, the zone pay-per-view, the last one of the year, blah, 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 Bonanza. Them two are going to go off.
Yeah.
You know that they're going to go off because they really still don't like each other. They've got beef to settle. Both of them are coming off a stoppage loss. Well, Dillian's coming off a stoppage loss. AJ's coming off getting a second consecutive one. That's going to be wild, right? And whilst all that's going on, you've got the WBC foolishness going on just to see what's happening with that one, which means that, hey, imagine if Ruiz got that WBC belt. You cannot tell me that Eddie is not sending a facsimile over immediately with a giant offer.
Yeah, the fact
welcome to the
like
UK.
Zeros with like put a number in front of this. It's
exactly. Yeah, just sign here, please. All good. It was a fine card in the end. I'm not going to be that rude. Hergovich 100% lost. Like bad. Like lost. That was rude. Right? And you know that I don't defend the, Now, Romola got a knockout. Smith.
Big.
Dude, Smith defended us from a European invader and fucking ironed that boy. He took him out. I want to know what he does at light heavy.
He's an animal.
He really is, isn't he? Let's see what happens with him.
Which again, levels like people want to chat shit on. I told you with that video, I was like, let me see whether people just mention Bivol for like fucking. People want to. It's like what Einstein has that quote, which I love, where it's like he puts the 9 times tables up. I think I'm not a mathematician, but anyway, some numbers. And the 10 times he does wrong, and they laugh and they're like, you got that wrong. He's like, you missed the 9 I did correctly, and you want to point, eat a bag of dicks, you motherfucker. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but essentially.
Did you know how much he fucked? Einstein.
Einstein
was a cocksman of the highest. Imagine just going up.
I always thought Prince only fancied the gentleman, but
no.
anybody
Okay, right. So first of all, Einstein, when you're going up to birds and just saying I'm the smartest man in the world, they're gonna suck you off. Fact. and you can back it up and you can prove it. I'm literally the smartest man ever. So got skills, computer hacking skills, bow staff skills, Napoleon Dynamite. Prince was just hitting holes. He was juicing anything and everything he could possibly do because he's also a genius. So and there's probably only so many 10s that you can nail before you're just like, this is boring. This is boring. I've been trying to fucking brand someone with a hot iron. No one wants me to do that. The fucking hook keeps coming off where I choke myself. This is bullshit. Yeah. Kenny, I'm
pretty sure it was Prince, where Kevin Smith that made Mallrats.
It was.
Did the documentary.
It was.
And he thought that was his guy. They're like, no, he never shows that to anyone. He just commissions people to make movies about himself and then just keeps them
in a vault.
Strong.
See now, how does that stuff not come out? That must be worth a fortune. But he's got albums and albums no one will ever see, music videos no one will ever see. It's just got like this madness. I think we're a little bit off piste.
Yeah.
That's okay. It was a good
I'm
card.
feeling better. This feels like a therapy session.
Have you let it out? See, now you still need to tell me which was the one that really fucked you off the most.
No, I think it was an accumulation, and it was like,
Really?
as I said, the detouring of like, also a mixture of Kennedy today hearing his pod about like horrific things that happen. Like, do you know, he and like 4 other people or whatever, they set up an NGO, and 11% of what, because when the US retreated from Afghanistan, they were basically like peace, and a lot of people that have been helping, their lives are at risk. 11% of the people that were rescued of the entire country, him and those 4 guys, they just went
Jesus Christ.
That's insane. And like this stuff that he's talking about, it's like the sights they were seeing is horrific. And like real shit happens and people are bitching about nothing. And it was pissing me off. I'm like, no, today we make a stand and we just say, don't be a bitch. Like, fucking give people credit when they deserve it. Don't whinge about shit that doesn't need to whinge about, even though I'm whinging about, but I'm doing it on behalf of other people.
I had 4 conversations in the office today because obviously I dance for the white man now. All of them were grim. One of them, shit you not, had air punching. I just don't know what to do. Just said that I just go like literally just become like a young version of me where the soul just drains out my eyes and I just wait for it to be over. Honestly, I just can't handle it. What do you do with that?
Yeah,
they were bad as well.
I mean, if AJ had just done that, victory would have been his.
No, the vibe is that his actions afterwards were disgusting, and then you said, "Did you watch it?" And they go, "No." Oh, yeah, sick.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah. People get outraged about shit they haven't even fucking seen. Like Chappelle, all the kickback on him. It's like, did you listen to this? No, okay. No. Shut the fuck up then. It's okay to shut the fuck up. If you don't know something, people now, I'm going off another rant, but also, do you remember like we would not necessarily hang out with old people, but you realize they've been on the earth longer. They know shit. They have experience. Fine. Yeah. Now, that's not the case. They're like, oh, they're from the old world. They don't fucking understand things. So young people now are like, we know fucking everything, and they all listen to each other. That's a problem. You really need to know. Sometimes you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's important.
An echo chamber,
if you haven't been in a ring, exactly. If you haven't been in a ring, there's a level of knowledge that you don't have. So don't talk tactic. You can say on what you felt about the fight, but don't say what the fuck he should have done. Have you ever had someone of that caliber throwing punches at your head? Not many people can say yes. So don't say what he should have done. Fuck off.
Yeah. It's all a bit grim, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're all spicy and fired up today. I quite like it. Got a little bit of a semi with it, to be honest.
It's just that, when it's like I say, social media could be a great thing. And like, I'm not one of the ones that it's bullshit, but the only bad thing is too many people have a say about too many one with the virus, they're fucking whatever the name of medicine that specializes in that. And then with foreign policy, they're an expert. It's just admit you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Just shut up.
Do you remember a few months ago when they were going after Imperial Lord Rogan? And that people were properly going off, and then you just say, have you ever listened to one? They're like, no. Like, what are you going on about then?
It's what the person that I sent you of that was so outraged about other things, actively puts up like, they're a 10, but they listen to Rogan. What are they? And then all the
an 11 people like, love 0, is what they are. 0. An 11. No, it's an 11. That's an enlightened male. Welcome to the manosphere, you fucking bitch. I think we should name and shame her, but I'm not going to because you've probably got links to it. That's not fair. Is there anything more, mate?
Bare Knuckle was awesome.
Bare Knuckle was awesome. It was very, very fun. A very good event. I was really impressed. They put on a proper good show. I'm not too sure about the Bon Jovi fucking noise that they did every 10 seconds. You just get a little bit chill and you're like,
oh. Yeah, that Yeah.
It was Bon Jovi, wasn't it? It was "It's My Life" is what that felt like every time
Is
it
it?
would do it.
It just felt like static. It felt like they were plugging in the microphone every time. It was like,
Well, the DJ did have a text at one point, didn't he, while he was playing bangers?
that was amazing.
That
They
was
were playing
power.
bangers though. The music was
They were,
fucking sick.
yeah. The music was literally your youth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Skin Dread and fucking Godsmack and fucking Horse Slave and all manner of stuff. So basically, it's like if Conan was music.
Also, Leon
Hi.
Edwards kicked Usman in the face.
I saw that. Decent. I like that a lot.
Wrong.
I got a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, especially like his whole thing is incredible. Like it's one of the things when you see hard work pay off, the best.
There's been, I believe, 4 DMs saying we should get him on the pod. Now, obviously, sure. My response is, you DM him then and try and get him on. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Fuck. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'll just randomly. Oh yeah, I'll ring him. Shall I? All right. Fucking hell!
Because
Like
I'm sure he's not getting many messages at the minute. Like,
nah, yeah. Especially he's gonna love that, isn't he? That now he's won the title, people want to talk to him. But before we didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? He's gonna love that a lot. Come on now. Anywho, we'll call that there because we have a delightful Undestructible where Sam is going to be fucking cranking it over KSI. Did you know that someone on that KSI card is called Dean, spelled Deen, the Great? There's another one, and they're called Salt Pappy. I don't know what this is.
I got to say this because KSI was in the media bit when we were watching the fight. He's in great shape. He looks.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's a lovely man.
dude.
I've got no ag with him whatsoever. I'm sure he's a very nice man. I don't understand why. Highly likely at some point, because I'm going to have nothing to do on Saturday. Might have something to do on Saturday. I don't know yet. But if I haven't got anything to do on Saturday, I'm going to be there going, I'm probably going to press buy, and then I'm going to hate myself.
Oh, no. You won't go that far.
I probably won't go that far. You're right. I probably won't go that far, but there's a chance. There's always a chance.
Listen, I'll host an intervention. No.
Do you remember that time yesterday or today, whenever it was, that Sam wants us to do reaction videos? Like, you realize we're 40, right?
What? Also, last thing.
What are they? I don't know what they are.
Yeah, I like reaction videos where people like lose their shit. Okay, maybe. But what is this on Insta now where there's like a song playing and there's literally someone just like blank face, just like,
I don't know.
Why the fuck do we need your face there?
There's that, and there's also that they slowed down a song. There's a banger, and that's a thing now. And I'm like, that's not a thing.
Yeah,
literally not a thing. You've just slowed down a song and made it shit. If it was meant to be that speed,
they would have made it that way.
It would have made it that speed. Yeah. This is very, very quickly going to be descending into 2 grumpy old men, isn't it? This pod.
That's the name of our spin-off podcast.
Yes, just fuming. What are your pronouns? My pronoun is fuck and off. That's what my pronoun is. My ESG score is huge. My company does Meatless Mondays. That's their ESG. Can you believe that?
Is that
Why
real?
would you do that? For real. That's the contribution to ESG. Meatless Mondays. Bosh. Kind of respect that with the Arab-owned companies, though. They're like, yeah, we don't do meat in the London office, but just set a few slaves on fire out there. It was a good laugh, that. Shout out. On that note, Brother Strigs, see you Wednesday.
Love you, baby.
Love you.